If you can't read between the lines, the conclusion that one draws is that condoms are kind of gay. To put it as bluntly as possible, okay?
Condoms are kind of gay. That's the expert commentary that you can hear by Michael Knowles. Now, I don't know how to respond to that. Maybe we need to hear more, but first some more context. So in order to understand what could have possibly led to him making that statement, we'll have to watch him whine about fringe culture war nonsense, so stay tuned for that. In fact, without further ado, let's just watch it and then
I'll rip it apart.
Okay.
Maybe you like condoms, maybe you don't like condoms. I don't know where you're gonna find that in the Constitution. I think a lot of people are beginning to notice that the contraceptive mentality is the beginning of the pride mentality, because the contraceptive mentality divorces sex from the consequences of sex. It introduces a sterile sexual ethic, which is exactly what gave us the pride movement. There's no distinction here. If you can't read between the lines, the conclusion that one draws is that condoms are kind of gay. To put it as bluntly as possible, okay? People are beginning to realize, okay, if I don't like this insane anarchistic view of sex that is totally self-centered and divorced from any ends whatsoever, well then maybe I gotta rewind it and ask, well, what is the point of sex? Just why it's not gonna be the patriarchy that's coming for your consequence-free birth control. It's not going to be the men. The men, frankly, are huge supporters of birth control and contraception because it allows them to have consequence-free sex. It's going to be those conservative women. That's who's coming for it.
Doubt it. I mean, I can just quickly answer one of the main questions he had there about like, why engage in this narcissistic act if you're not trying to procreate? Pleasure, pleasure. I'm not a religious person. However, if I were a religious person, I would thank the Lord, okay, for giving us the physical capability. I know not all of us, and thoughts and prayers for those folks, but generally speaking, the physical capability to experience sexual pleasure.
Yeah.
Being able to do so in a safe way, especially with things like condoms, which not only protect against pregnancy, but also protect against sexually transmitted diseases, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
They should improve condoms a little bit if you ask me, but that's a different story. Go ahead.
Okay, so look, there's two core issues here. That's a massive difference between the right wing and the left wing. And this clarifies things and why I think no rational person could be a right winger. So there, I said it, catch feelings. So number one, they genuinely now are making arguments about contraception. He's not at all kidding. Like there was that little chuckle of like, oh, condoms are kind of gay, ha ha ha. But no, he said, to put it bluntly, he absolutely means it. I watched the whole segment, God help me, and he makes a case, and you saw it there. And this is what he said it in such a like blur, and the right wing's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So let me break it down for you so you understand how asinine it is. Condoms are equivalent to a sterile sexual ethic, and so is gay sex because it does not lead to procreation. They're both sterile, okay? They're both pointless sex just for pleasure, so they're both wrong. For the right wing, he is saying the only sex that should be allowed, presumably, is for a purpose, the purpose of procreating and creating children. To which I say, you must be nuts.
You know,
the 1200s called, they'd like to have their opinion back.
Look, to be fair, Cenk, I mean, don't you believe that a married couple should immediately cease to engage in intercourse after the woman goes through menopause? I mean, why? I mean, what kind of sick couple, what kind of sick married couple would engage in coital activity after the woman can no longer get pregnant? How dare they? Prison with all of them. Now, of course, he's not asking for prison, but like, I'm trying to break down the flaw in his logic here and how stupid it is.
It's unbelievably stupid. And yet, no, they're trying to ban contraception. 99% of women have used contraception at some point in their lives. Hey, Michael Knowles, Daily Wire, right wing, if that's the political hill you want to die on, have at it, Hoss. All right, go convince 99% of women that contraception is immoral and should be banned.
No, I want him to keep talking.
Please make our day.
Yes.
Keep talking, moron of morons. And by the way, why is he doing this? Because it's such an absurd point. No one in America believes it. Only these radical lunatics believe it. He does it because I'm gonna get attention. Matt Walsh has the anti-trans niche covered and he got really famous off of that. I wanna be famous too. I'll be the dumbest one. I'm against all contraception. I think condoms are gay. And you know what? Unfortunately, in this media ecosystem, that works. That's why they do it. Look, we're covering it. Hey, look at how dumb this guy is. And a lot of right-wingers are going, well, yeah, the stereosexual thing, I think I don't want that. And yeah, I don't like gay people. And the condoms bother me. I think he's right. And he's gonna convince like 2 to 3% of people.
Like, okay, I don't even think that. I think you're being far too, I guess, generous to Michael Knowles in thinking that argument would even convince 2 to 3% of Republican voters to like turn on contraceptives like condoms. Come on, let's actually look at the current polling. Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
then I've got more.
Data for Progress put out a poll in October of 2022 asking, would you be more likely or less likely to vote for a candidate for Congress who opposes protecting the right to contraception under federal law? So that is a broader question, not only having to do with condoms, but also birth control. So all likely voters, 8% say that they would be more likely. I'm sorry, 19% overall say that they would be more likely to vote for someone who wants to ban contraception. 59% say less likely. Among Democrats, the number is much higher, but let's look at Republicans, right? 40% say they are less likely to vote for someone who wants to ban birth control. Only 25% say more likely.
But now, Anna, we're kidding around about 2 or 3%, but there it is. 25% of Republicans say ban it. By the way, 35% aren't sure.
I know, but this is a very broad question pertaining to all forms of birth control.
Oppose protecting contraception access.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
No, it's bad. I mean, we already know conservatives are conservative. Like, I'm not surprised by those numbers. But clearly, there is a much higher percentage of conservatives who are less likely to vote for a congressional candidate who is likely to ban birth control or to push for these bans.
Yeah, and look, you want to go up against 99% of women who actually use it, even if some of them answer in a poll, oh yeah, maybe we should ban it. I mean, I used it earlier in my life and I'd like to be a hypocrite now, or whatever reason, or I use it, but I'm evil because Michael Knowles said I'm evil because I have anarchistic sex. Okay.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, by the way, that doesn't sound too bad. I mean,
I like sex with lots and lots of rules and regulations.
And only for procreation. But by the way, now, seriously, about these 25...
Actually, rules are sometimes important, so let me just get that out.
Yeah, depending on what games you're playing. Anyways, seriously, guys, there is a contingent in America that, like, if push came to shove, we think, obviously, they're not actually gonna try to... Even a majority of the Republican voters are gonna be like, no, don't ban contraception, that's nuts, right? And obviously everyone else thinks it's the craziest thing in the world. Although, as you see in the poll, 9% of Democrats are like, maybe. Like what?
Yeah.
Like 9% say yes, much more likely. 8% say somewhat more likely. That's 17% of Democrats. And that gets to one of my points here. Guys, we in our bubble, which is the overwhelming majority of the country, okay, there's always bubbles, right? In the great majority of the country's bubble, we're like, yeah, this is the year 2023. We believe in freedom and people can have sex for whatever reason they want. Why are we judging their sex life? Oh, that one was too much fun. That one wasn't, can we judge whether it wasn't fun enough? No, you have to only do it for the reasons Michael Knowles wants. So the great majority of the country thinks these guys are lunatics, okay? But there is a religious contingent in this country, including some Democrats, who go, no, the sex should be done by my rules. And my rules say only for procreation. So by the way, if you're married and you only want to have 3 kids, I guess that means, okay, enjoy the 3 times you have sex in your life. Because you can't have sex before, you're only using it for procreation, you can't use contraception. So you want 3 kids, 3 times you get to have sex in your life. Again, the great majority of the country thinks lunatics. But there is a conservative religious element that goes, sounds right to me. They're not actually gonna do it, they don't practice it. They're giant, enormous, overwhelming hypocrites. All of them use contraception, and none of them actually believe this, but they go, yeah, we should. We should ban other people from having fun sex. Sex for just fun? No, okay? All right, if you're in that group, yeah, you're likely a right winger and you're probably nuts. And we're gonna fight you and we're gonna win. So have at it.
No one's gonna try to ban condoms. It's just not gonna happen. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing ever.
They've driven down support for gay marriage by 7 points, and it keeps going down. These guys batter and batter and batter and batter. So yeah, they're not gonna win on this issue, but they're gonna keep going and they're gonna try to convince religious people, your religion should rule everyone. Okay, and sorry, I don't agree, and I'm gonna fight you 2,000%. And so, okay, and by the way, Michael Knowles is a giant liar. What, you never use contraception? No, you frickin' bozo. Okay, he was in a movie where he's having gay sex and etc. Yeah, this guy, back when he was trying to be an actor and trying to be famous, he was like, yeah, gay sex and contraception and wild sex, I'm here for you. And now that he's a loser, total failure in life, and he couldn't be famous with that, now he's like, I think condoms are bad. I think sex is bad because I'm not having any. So I mean, it's like, no, it's bad, only for procreation. I'm gonna rule all of your lives with my BS, totally made up, totally hypocritical principles. Okay, Michael, I got it. You got slightly famous by saying something totally and utterly asinine. In this case, I want you to keep saying it because I want Republicans to lose all elections by being radical morons like you.
I do applaud you for being as passionate in protection of condoms, like the only man in the country who feels this passionately about protecting condoms.
Well, they are for protection.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.